Hello. I don't even have anything amazing for an intro, but yeah, welcome back to 0 to 100K, where I document my life and this journey of entrepreneurship and whatever else comes into play. Okay, so where we at? It's been a day. I slept really well that night. I had 3 hours sleep. Oh, my sleep was 10:10. I think I slept like 10.5 hours, and yeah, it was much needed. Tonight I'm hoping for 8.5 to 9 hours. We'll see what happens. But outside of sleep, how am I doing? I'm doing well. Um, Pretty happy with some things, some small bits of progression, some good leads are coming through at work. Yeah, I'm pretty happy. People are getting on with things. There are some like small things that I'm running into. For instance, the education finance partner Noma that we've been using in the UK, they have basically told us that they're pretty much on the brink of collapse, and that's the reason why they're not financing any other new applicants. So yeah, we have a big lifeline in terms of what allows us to stay afloat has basically just sailed away. Uh, the reason why this is significant and a big deal for us as a business is because the majority of our revenue that allows us to keep things afloat comes from the upfront payments that our finance provider, gives to us. So yeah, there's that. Outside of that, we do have some other slight alternatives. We can set up payment plans, but there's just so much risk on the company. And in the past, for instance, there have been people that have taken advantage. Then we chased them up. They've complained. They've left like really shit reviews, pretended like yeah. It's just a shit situation for a company when you have to chase up your own money and the people on the end are consumers. Because consumers in sometimes they have a good right to do this, but in a lot of scenarios, as consumers, we believe the company should just take the brunt of whatever if we don't feel like paying. And that really does mess things up significantly because there's real people on the other side. So there's that. I've got a campaign that I'm working on, in fact, at the moment. It's a awareness campaign, and it's going to be of some of the graduates that we've had that have landed jobs. I'll put them together. We're going to use this awareness campaign to build up the new Facebook pixel that I have set up now, and that's going to be my way to start collecting some good data. Then the lead generation campaign that we will run behind the awareness will be something more like day in the life and or like offers. We'll see what we can do. I've got to figure this bit out and put it together, then put it live over Christmas period, and also get some people prepared for the new year. Um, what else have I been thinking about? I've been recording early today. It's like 10:51. What else? What else? What else? I just got off the phone with a friend of mine recently. Well, a friend of mine, and they've got a business, and one of the things that they're currently working on is a potential opportunity to sell that company, or to merge that company with another company that's in their space. And there's been a lot of talk for himself around exiting and some stuff that he wants to achieve from a company standpoint. And he came to me for some advice and perspective. And one thing I said is figure out what you want in the next 10 years. And yeah, that conversation has led on to other conversations. And when we was just on the phone, I think I came about just realizing I'm okay with selling this company. It's no longer anything that I hold on to personally. Yes, I hold on to the mission personally, but I'm okay. I'm very okay with selling this company. What I would ideally do after selling this company is start something up, still helping people via education, recruitment, or anything of the sort. But I will hopefully look to do other things if that was the scenario. So let's think about this. Why would I be okay with it? Because I've learned what it takes to get a company from zero to this point, at least 0 to 1 million in revenue. And I know some of the things that, like a lot of the learners I have, I can apply them much better to a blank slate, in my opinion, than I can to the entity that I've already got. I'm really good at getting off the ground. What's where I will be looking to improve and build some competency will be helping scaling the operational side up properly and being able to do it in such a way that we don't go backwards, whether the market goes down or not. But that, again, slightly easier to do with a fresh brand because you can build fresh momentum. It's not to say everyone in the world knows who Love Circular are, because they don't. The only thing is, right now, I'm sure there are other problems I could solve. But yeah, one of the things that I could do with is I could do with the luxury of not having to think about money as a day-to-day thing. I'll like I've mentioned it to you before, like this whole entrepreneurship thing. Yes, we pretend like money is not a big driver, but it's one of the biggest drivers we have. There is a level of freedom, true freedom, when you know that you don't have to work for, like, you've got enough money to, say, have 8 to 12 months off if you needed. And that's one of the things that I'd love to be able to have. I'd love to be able to get to that point. Why? Because I think you sleep better, you eat better, everything else, everything is just better in life. And at that stage, you also feel, you make decisions clearer. You don't feel like you're motivated by tomorrow's money, because you don't need tomorrow's money. Today's money. You're not missing out on today's money. You've got enough for tomorrow. But at that point, you might be thinking about doing bigger things where the rewards come after some delay or significant work. And there is a knock-on effect. Maybe it's 2 years, maybe it's 5 years, but you're going to get a payday eventually. You're in a better position when you can play those games and play long-term games. For me, I've not been able to play long-term games for the past year because I have been, year and a half at this point, I've been firefighting from a deficit as opposed to profiting. So I would love to get to that point again where I've got enough to not worry about money. What number does that look like at the moment? For me, at the moment, I say for me, I don't know. No one's talking to me. It's just me and this camera. The number that I would be happy to sell this company at is about £5 million in the UK, or yeah, what's that, like $6.5-7 million. Why am I happy with that number? I think I can have 3 to 5 years of not having to work comfortably, very, very comfortably. And I would also have enough capital to be able to help pay off some family debt and put some good savings aside and purchase some assets, stable assets. Outside of that, I will have enough capital to put into any ideas I have, but chances are I won't be putting my own capital into many things from scratch unless I try and build a holding company, and that's a whole different story because we've already gone into that before. But yeah, I would have enough capital to put into like ideas, tests, things like that. That being said, if you've sold a company and you know anything about companies, investment, selling a company is a big deal. If you've got that sort of level of approval, or you've been able to have an exit, you're more likely to land funding and be able to fundraise from venture capital as well as angels in future rounds. Future endeavors. So for me, yes, this company, I don't feel like it's a funding worthy. It's not an easy company to fund in its current state and with what it does. But if an opportunity does come up in future, and I've already solidified my current, like a good living, because I've got $5 or $6.5 million, why wouldn't I try and play longer term games and play with people where the stakes are higher and the scale of the operation is bigger? I like to do stuff like that because A, it pushes me, and B, I feel like I'll get way closer to my number faster. That's essentially why you raise capital. You try and hit a goal faster. 1 million people isn't significant to get into tech when you think about what VC money can bring. To give you an idea, Codecademy has taught over like 100 million people now, and they've been around for the last maybe 11 years, 10, 11 years. It's not bad, that 100 million people in 10 or so years. Even if 1% of those got jobs, as you can imagine, we hit our number. So this is how I see it. I'm okay with it. If the scenario comes up, I would gladly do it. I still feel like there will be opportunity to still help the same avatar, but I'm not in a position where I'm gonna stress myself out. And I'm going off on a different tangent, but yeah, I'd do it. I'll just exit. Where are we currently at? Currently, I speak so terribly. Where are we currently at with progress? No revenue, no significant revenue. We've no significant revenue, but we made a few hundreds. I think we're on like 1.6 for the month. The problem is like our overheads are about 3 minus any like minuscule salary I can take in a moment. Oh, if you're wondering how much I pay myself or how much I spend on the company, I know this sort of stuff's kind of interesting. I spend about 1.6k a month. No, I'm lying. I probably spend about 1.6 to 1.7 on living. That's like rent, and the rest is pretty much debt that I've accrued in trying to either save the company or other stuff that I've just been paying off when I had money and I didn't pay off. I've learned my lesson, I promise. But yeah, I'm paying myself maybe 1.5, or I spend 1.5 ish, around that 1.56, around that mark in pounds per month. And yeah, I don't really spend much money on luxuries. I don't do anything special. Yeah, I do live in a very nice apartment. I live in the city centre in Manchester, so like I live in a really nice apartment, a high-end one. Well, outside of that, like I really don't spend much money on anything. And I know that this sort of stuff's insensitive to people, but I'll all I'm gonna say is, if you're new here, you're gonna want to thicken up if this is insensitive. But that amount of money, it's not that significant. When I'm not spending the world here, I'm not spending a lot of money. Yes, it may be a lot in comparison to other people's earnings, but yeah. So like a basketball salary completely dwarfs mine and anybody else's. But yeah, I digress. I'm going into a stupid rabbit hole, but yeah, like I don't really spend much money each month anymore, and kind of sad about that. Kind of sad. I miss paying for. I miss the annoyance of paying for petrol, like a full tank. No, I'm not. I don't. I just miss that car. Miss having a fast car. But yeah, outside of that, I've just been dreaming, man. I've been dreaming about fixing some of the the lead flow problem, and building out the company from scratch again. My next step is to start getting some help with content creation. Once we can get content creation down, I'm in a much better position for running better ads and improving lead flow. On top of that, after content creation, it's community. We need to get the community going again. We need to, not even again, but we just need that extra oomph. A big part of it should be my responsibility, and I will be taking a lot of responsibility on that. I'm not making excuses up for myself, but I'm very terrible with written communication, like replying to messages. Cognitively, it just spins my head, man. I don't know why. I don't know why. Oh, it's like there are too many tabs open in my head. And I do use that app text, but they, for some reason, won't connect to my Slack. So yeah, I'm pretty stuffed. But yeah, day 30, I don't want to ramble on too long. Plus, I hope this video doesn't break for whatever reason. Fingers are crossed, touching wood. Let's go. I'll see you tomorrow, man. Peace.